Welcome back to another podcast episode of Living on the Verge. Today is going to be quick and painless because we want to get you all back to your planning, your running, your shopping, and your Christmas prep. I know you might all be stressed out. And with that being said, I'm sure that you've all done your best to get things ready for the holidays, whether it be Christmas or Hanukkah or Kwanzaa or none of the above. I'm sure that you guys are trying to do your best. So don't be too hard on yourselves. Just make sure that you stay focused and you get out there and get it done. And we'll be talking about all of the beautiful memories that we built this time next week. So let's get on with the podcast so you could get back to the business of preparing for the holidays. We're going to do a short recap today. And as I said earlier, we will be off next week to celebrate the holidays with our families. And so we may or may not have a replay of a throwback episode. But either way, we'll be back before the end of the year to close things out. For today, we're talking about Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. And Bose is having a matchmaking party for the girls. So here's what we know as far as, the men. The men are Sebastian, the motivational speaker, Jeff, the entrepreneur, Matt, the lawyer, Ben, the comedian, Chase, who does I don't know what, Rick, the lawyer, and Garib, the artist. And now it's time for Bose's speed dating party. The girls all show up wearing black, which is giving funeral, except for Kyle's black getup. That's giving I'm ready to move on. Only she's not really ready to move on. And the $36,700 Hermes Mini Kelly, I guess, is to show that she means business when it comes to the kind of man she's trying to wrangle. I don't know, but there's a picture of it on Instagram. Sutton shows up last and makes it all a perfect black party. Honestly, she looks really pretty in my opinion. I think this was a very flattering look for Sutton. Way better than, let's say, the cat sweater. That's for sure. It's time to head outside and meet the men. And we see a scene where Erica is there and one of the gentlemen is talking to her. And rather than just kind of go with the flow, she kind of flips out and says she has to go get a cocktail and kind of runs off and tells them at the bar that she's just really awkward when it comes to one-on-one situations. But who would have thunk it from the Erica Jane, who can basically get on stage and do splits without thinking twice about it? That's not surprising to me. It is oftentimes the person who is most outgoing on stage that has a completely different persona off stage. Like think Michael Jackson. Well, let's go ahead and move on. It's very clear that Dorit is the most desired and by far the best flirt. She's actually doing the best job of mingling and trying to get to know the guys. And so they're going to get started. Bose assigned everybody a location to start and the speed dating begins. And let the awkward moments ensue. Like when Ben had to explain to Sutton that the question of whether you are aggressive or submissive was intended to be sexual in nature. And when Garib the artist excitedly tells Rachel he started Comic-Con and then asked if she likes superheroes, she flatly says no, laughs, and then says, I can't. Then there is the geographically challenged Dorit, who has this awkward conversation with Sebastian.
Okay. Where do you live? You live on this side?
I think we're on the west side, right?
I think we're on the east side now.
Okay, so I don't know what side I live on.
Oh.
I live in the valley.
Okay.
Do you know where that is?
That way.
Again, I would like to judge, but I could have very easily been the one having that conversation because I too am incredibly geographically challenged. I mean, we all have our strong suits, right? But let's keep examining this speed dating round. There's Rachel's conversation with Matt about music, including how Matt says that Coldplay sucks and how he doesn't know why white women like Coldplay. Then there was Kyle's awkward conversation with the realtor who did a deal with Mo. And can we talk a minute about her confessional look? I'll post a picture on Instagram, but it seems like she is intentionally changing her style. And I don't know what you guys think about it. Maybe we should do a poll. According to Bose and Nico, all of the boys like Dorit and all of the girls like Sebastian. Meanwhile, Sebastian and Dorit seem to actually be hitting it off. And poor Caleb, he is just, it seems to me, stuck in a crowd of like people who just don't understand his world. Especially Erica, who it looks like they're making some traction until we realize that she had confused sports cars with sports cards, thinking that they were talking about fast cars when they were actually talking about cardboard pictures of superheroes or baseball players. So yeah, that one was going to be a miss too. Rick seems to be super charmed by Sutton's accent, and Sutton seems to be charmed by Rick. Let's see what happens with that. So the speed dating round is over and it's time for the boys to leave and the girls to kiki around the fire pit, but not before Rick slides Erica his business card, telling her the ball's in your court. So it's kind of interesting that back at the sit down, Sutton says she likes Rick and then Erica has to break the news about the card. But in a tender moment, Erica gives the card to Sutton so that she could shoot her shot. Then they ask Kyle if she's actively looking for someone, and she says no, but she does want to be married again. So it's really clear Kyle's going through like heartbreak and the time after a breakup in which you really can't, think about being in another relationship. But yet she's very clear that she wants to be married again. So girlfriend's confused. We need to give her a moment. Then there is this little awkward moment when Erica blurted out, "Dorit, can I talk to you a minute?" And then pulls her aside and Sutton joins them. Now, listen, Erica, I love you, but you have to do a little better with the producer prompts because the blurt out in the middle of a whole other conversation seems incredibly staged. And that's all I'm going to say about that. But we did have a very interesting conversation with Dorit and Sutton and Erica, and they were all talking about, what was going on with the kids and with the divorce and with PK. And so we get an update and we find out that the kids did get to go to Florida and they're having a wonderful time. Meanwhile, Dorit is kind of implying that PK is messing with her.
By the way, that's by design. Here's the thing. When you're going through a divorce, your state of mind is like a big deal. Anything and everything will be used against you to make you look not the best. So you have to be careful. What you say, how you say it, who you say it to, where you hanging out, who you hanging out with, where you spending money. And it's a long road. Yes, dudes can get away with a hell of a lot more than mothers.
I agree with what Erica is saying, but one thing for sure is that Dorit's divorce from PK is turning out to be really good for her friendship with Sutton. They seem to be healing and becoming friends. Stay tuned, I guess. Back at the fire circle, Bose does her best to interrogate Kyle about where she's at. That girl has a gift because I feel like anybody else that would have done that, Kyle would have gotten really upset and probably stormed off. Nonetheless, Kyle tells us that she has been in love since Mo, and now she's alone. Translation, she and Morgan broke up. But in confessionals, Kyle tells us how she really felt in the moment.
Bose is acting like she's never heard anything or seen anything, and she's asking me all these questions. And I'm like, okay, Bose.
Was it by choice not to be in love now? By your choice?
No, it's not. It's just complicated.
I don't know about you guys, but for a moment, it kind of felt like Bose was interrogating Kyle. And that is, I guess, what it's intended to look like. But then Bose tells us that she's not doing anything malicious. She's just trying to get to know Kyle so that she can be a better friend.
I want to be there for her. I want to be able to support in every way that I can as a friend. I told you, I'm a girl's girl. I want to like be in everybody's business.
You're a lady.
Not because I want to be in the business, but because I'm like, but in order to be friends.
Honestly, it seems to me like Kyle seems to be in a place of discovery. And that happens to women oftentimes after their kids leave and they get the empty nest syndrome, or when there's a change in their relationships. You know, that can happen. And it seems that Kyle is kind of tired of all the hemming and hawing, and this is what we finally hear.
Well, why don't you ask what you really want to ask?
What's that? What do you think I want to ask?
I don't know. I could go Brad. I could go Angelina. That's what you want me to say, right? I mean...
Is that serious? Could we go Brad or Angelina?
No, I mean, I'm like half joking, but not fully joking.
Open.
I don't know.
Open.
Listen, I've learned a lot about myself. I think gender doesn't matter. I think it's I think it is a connection with a soul connection.
Mm.
And there you have it, folks. Hopefully, this huge mystery that the public has been craving would be solved is now finally solved. Kyle is open. She thinks that you could love whoever based on your connection. Can we move on? Because as far as I'm concerned, this is one of the moments I've been waiting for all season, and that is to see what Amanda has done with Kyle's old Bel Air house. I have a video of the tour of the house on Instagram, but we do get to see that she transformed the Bel Air home that used to belong to Kyle and Mauricio. We get to meet her fiance, Eddie, her 4 children. She talks about her book and how her choice to manifest her life has resulted in where she is today. There's a lot of buzz about that on the internet, and not all of it is good. Amanda is being met with, I would say, mixed reviews as a newbie. What do you think? I don't know. I guess we'll have to wait and see a little bit more, but we get a little more of her later on in the episode. So let's move on. Before that happens, Sutton visits Rachel. They've known each other socially apparently for years. And I'm sure given the show, that they're now sort of being pushed to get to know each other a little bit more one-on-one. What in the product placement sponsorship is going on? Is Pouilly Fusée, the white wine that Sutton brought to Rachel, a sponsor? I mean, they sure decked out the bottle. Check out the picture on Instagram. Anyway, they get to talking about their marriages, and Rachel says that she dropped her married name the day she left. And she tells Sutton that she needs to un-Stracke herself. In confessionals, Sutton tells us that she's always felt like she could get him back, and she's kind of struggling because this move, the move for him to annul the marriage in the Catholic Church, kind of shows Sutton that maybe she really can't get him back and that it really is over. That must be kind of hard. That must be why she's struggling to deal with it. So then we get to see Alexia and Kyle continue wedding planning with Margarita, the floral designer. And if you ask me, I agree. Alexia has organic, eclectic taste and picked out a combination of florals that reflect that. I thought it was really cute that she wanted one sample to take home so that Jake could give final approval. As if really Jake gets much of a say. I don't know about you, but when it comes to flowers, I don't think the guys have tons of opinions. If you're one of the guys out there who had an opinion on your florals for your wedding, send me a DM and tell me what it was about why you had an opinion, because usually that's the last thing that the guys really care about. But I could be making sweeping statements that are incredibly out of line. And if that's the case, please set me straight. Amanda and Bose meet for lunch to get to know one another, and we get to know a little bit more about Amanda. She was a content creator, then had classes online on how to become a life coach. Honestly, you guys, there's a bunch of double speak that I don't understand. Maybe you do.
I started out as a therapist and life coach, and later a business coach. As my audience grew and I wanted to help more people. I began to create online courses to help people create both the professional and personal life of their dreams.
Oh, interesting.
So then I created a digital course called Become a Life Coach.
Oh.
And then I found that I had a gift, a niche around money, but not around, like, I'm not a financial planner. You know, around like the energetic part of money, the mindset part, the psychology around it.
Right.
What in the double speak is going on? You guys, is it just me? Because I don't get it. I mean, I am not a financial manifester, and I sure as shit don't live in Bel Air. And so if that sort of double speak got you there, then who am I to judge? But when it comes to getting straightforward, helpful advice on what to do with money, emotionally or otherwise, I'm incredibly confused. Thankfully, Dorit shows up to save Bose from being as confused as we are. And so we hear about some of the details of the ongoing struggles of the divorce from Dorit directly. It seems to me like Dorit is going to play this divorce out in the court of public opinion. She's not holding any punches on the details. And although I understand, and I'm not in her shoes, I'm going to be honest. It kind of bothers me that I'm not hearing PK's side of things, because some of the things she's saying, they just seem so incendiary. So we're told that Dorit has been living in the unknown as far as financial responsibility and information goes. And now she's trying to figure it all out. She tells us, by the way, that her name is on everything. You guys, it's more than likely because PK was in such dire financial straits over the years, and certainly when they first got married, she just told us that. Amanda tells her to figure out who she is going to be no matter what he does. And we end the episode with Bo saying exactly what I am thinking. Well, until she's not. And you can kind of tell. Listen to this exchange.
What can Dorit do, like proactively, knowing like all of these unknowns? Is there anything that she can proactively do to protect herself or to like help the situation?
I think you have to decide what you want, what you're creating, and like who you're going to be. Like, I know that's like a big overarching question, but who do you want to be as a provider? Who do you want to be as a woman who earns? Who do you want to be as a woman who husband screwed her and now she has to fill in the gaps? Like, who are you going to be no matter what he does? Right? You know what I'm saying?
Totally.
Because you're going to have to keep your mind right to go through this battle with this man.
Oh, yes.
The facial expressions from Bose during this exchange are priceless. And you see a switch flip. All of a sudden, not so much legitimacy.
What is this frou-frou mess we talking about? I was looking for 1 + 1 = 2. Intentions? What kind of provider does she want to be? What does that even mean? This is not financial advice. The math ain't mathing.
I'm Team Bose all the way, and the math is not mathing. So where do you think we go from here with Amanda? Do you think that she gets called out for being a fraud? Do you think that she builds legitimacy throughout the season? How are we feeling about her? I know her house is amazing. I think that the remodel that she did was absolutely gorgeous, and no offense to Kyle and Mauricio, but the house looks fantastic. So with that, the episode comes to an end, and we find out that next week the ladies are taking a trip to Sedona, which is one of my top 5 happy places in the whole world. So I can't wait for that episode. Honestly, if you've never been to Sedona, just being there changes how you feel. And I would highly recommend that you take a visit, whether it be with the girls' trip or a weekend getaway with the hubby. Whatever. I personally, no offense, husband, like to go to Sedona alone because it is my time to meditate, to self-reflect, to do some self-care, a couple of massages, maybe a facial, some fabulous meals, and come back rejuvenated. I can't say enough good things about Sedona, but I got to stop babbling because, you guys, I got to get back to my Christmas planning. There's just so much going on. We have tamales to make. We have a company Christmas party to attend. We have a dinner with fabulous friends that we are going to. We have gifts yet to finish wrapping. And of course, my son is heading into town for the week, which is the cherry on top for me. All of my boys will be together this year, and that warms my heart like I can't even put into words. So with that, I'm going to get out of here. Wish you and yours a very Merry Christmas. Quick reminder that we will be off next week, enjoying our time with our family, and back the week after to close out the year. Until then, I know you remember, I'll be here living on the verge.